What's up, guys? Spaceman here. Today, let's discuss initial thoughts about the Galaxy Flip and Fold 5. We'll start with the smaller of the two foldables. The big new feature on the Flip 5 is the new cover screen. It's been increased to 3.4 inches, making it much more usable than last year's Flip 4. With the bigger screen, now known as the Flex window, you can access your notifications or toggle quick settings like the flash or Bluetooth. There's also loads of widgets such as your music controls, weather, calendar, timer. You can even launch certain apps like the camera or even reply to messages, all whilst in clamshell mode. Thanks to the redesigned hinge, dubbed the Flex hinge, the phone now folds completely flat. This hinge also allows you to unfold the screen in any position, which is useful for multitasking or using the external cover screen as a viewfinder to see what you capture whilst taking those selfies and videos. They've called this feature Flex Cam. 3 guesses what Samsung's new buzzword is for the year. As for the internals, it's powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip with 8GB of RAM, and it's also available with a storage capacity of 256 or 512GB. Comes in 4 colours: mint, graphite, cream and lavender. And unfortunately, this is where the improvements seem to end, as the camera, battery and internal display are all the same as last year's Flip 4, so no changes to scream about here. That being said, the Z Flip 5 starts at $999 or £1,099 for the 256GB model, with prices going up from there for the 512. Although currently on Samsung's website, they're running a pre-order deal that lets you get the bigger storage capacity for the same price as the base model. Now onto the Fold. Like the Flip 5, it also has an improved hinge, so the gap when the phone is folded is literally non-existent. The fold-out tablet display is still 7.6 inches in size, which is great for productivity and multitasking with up to 3 different apps side by side, and the displays now have an improved brightness of 20% compared to last generation. The Fold 5 is also powered by the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, but with 12GB of RAM this time, and onboard storage starting at 256GB going up to either 512 or 1TB. It's available in 3 colours: Phantom Black, Cream and Icy Blue. There's been no change with the triple camera array on the Fold 5 compared to last year's Fold 4, so we can see that Samsung are really living by "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" for this year's foldable release. Let's not forget you can also get the S Pen for the Fold 5 for all your productivity needs, although I've always felt it's a little tricky with the Fold compared to the Note and Galaxy Ultra series because there's nowhere to store the S Pen. So to make it work with the Fold, you need a case to house it, which is an additional cost along with the price of the S Pen. Saying that, the Z Fold 5 starts at $1,799 or £1,749. Overall, I'm getting a sense of disappointment from this year's foldable phones, if I'm honest. The improvements over last year seem to be very minimal. The main focus seems to be on the hinges for both phones. Whilst the new hinges are great, it feels like this was a missed opportunity for Samsung, especially as we've all come to know them as the company that's not afraid to put loads of new features into their devices. That's not to say that these aren't loaded with features already, but there's nothing that really separates them from last year's release, especially the Fold 5. In my opinion, the Fold would have been much better received if Samsung had redesigned the Fold 5 to integrate the S Pen into the body of the phone, and maybe a bigger battery too. After all, this is supposed to be the phone for Samsung's power users who are after peak performance for productivity and entertainment, and I think without that, it doesn't really meet that criteria. I can only assume that these two models aren't aimed at customers who already own last year's Fold 4 or Flip 4, but to users who own the Flip 3, Fold 3 or earlier. You can say that this view is either one of two things: an excuse for Samsung to not really try and innovate this year, or a tech company being smart with their resources to maximize profit. Whatever side you're on, it doesn't take away from the fact that Samsung, for this moment, are still the leaders in the foldable market, and if you're looking to get one, you can't go wrong with either of these smartphones.